Here, you guys already see the setup. You already see the vibes. Let's bring everything up. I'm gonna have to bring this down probably. Where is it? Okay, bring it down a little more. Shit. Okay. Okay. And then I need my mic. Mic received. Camera fixed. Cause what the hell? This might be better. All right. And change the temperature on this. I do need another light. I think that's better. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Thank you guys so much for joining in. If you are joining in for tonight's live about how to film cinematic B-roll, stay tuned. I am just now putting on my mic so that there we go, the other way. If you are in absolutely tap in and also let me know how you guys got into that as well. All right. Let's see here. You should put it right here. Let's do it like this. All right. I think that's it. I think it's good. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Just give me a thumbs up or yes, I can hear you. And what I'm doing right now is I'm actually opening up my YouTube over here on my computer just so that way that can do what that needs to do. And I can see myself better. All right. Well, I'll give you guys the breakdown. Okay. So, current breakdown, and I may have to put a grid over this. Okay. So, current breakdown. First of all, do I have everything in here in place? I need to make sure I have everything in place because I need y'all to see the setup. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put a grid over this. Bada! And channel, my channel. So, thank you so much for tuning in. We are now at photography mistakes. It is a Thursday, beautiful people. So for Thursdays, I like to host my photography mistakes YouTube lives. As you can see, I do have my current setup. And at the moment, I have my green screen behind me, as well as my props that I will be using for this particular live. I am going to do something a little different this time around. Because I have the green screen, I put it over my table. I'm also going to be filming in this particular scene. I want you guys to truly see what I do with the green screen. Okay. You're probably like, what are you going to do with it? Well, what I plan on doing with this green screen is replacing it. Okay. So, meaning I am going to film with it. I'm going to have everything captured while using the screen. And then in post, I will replace the green screen with something completely different. Right. And that in this case, will be used with AI, right? I'm looking at a couple of platforms because I haven't had a lot of practice when it comes to the AI videos. But I could do an AI picture, right? If I decided to, I could do that. But I really want to use like the AI videos and creating it something simple and implementing it using this green screen so that you guys can also know how to do the same thing. All right, so let me do this. I'm placing my border, which is my grid. All right, cool. I can hear myself. All right, that's what I want. So I'm doing that because right now it feels like my lighting is everywhere. So to kind of control it, I put the grid on. So as you can see, it gives it more of a depth with the grid being on. I still have this extra source of light to kind of fill in on this side as well. As you can see, if you guys can see that, it's shows up a little, just so you guys can see what that looks like. All right. So you guys can also get an idea of how to set up your own area. Right now, the purpose of this live is to show you guys how to film B-roll cinematically. So if you have seen any of my videos, which whenever I decide to do the edit for this particular video, all right, so this will be for that. You'll see different aspects of how I film my B-roll. These are also things that I teach my assistant to be able to understand how to capture certain details, certain movements, certain settings, just to ultimately give the vibe that we're trying to place. The intention of B-roll in general is just so that way you can set the mood, right? That could be obviously fun, it could be sad, it could be dramatic, it could be trauma based, it could be a variety of things. But because they are based off of how one feels when it comes to emotions, you can literally gear somebody's emotions by how you set up the film, how you set up a video, by what you captured. Okay, so the perfect example, and again, I'll probably have another video here. The perfect example I can show you is one of the last events that I did, which was a few, but there's definitely one that stands out to me was for a 40th birthday party. Okay, and I captured B-roll, and that's the one that's kind of been floating around lately that I've been editing and posting. Right, so you guys can see that here whenever I add it in. But ultimately, that's where I show you the details of what's happening at this event. You can tell by the candles, by the setup of the pictures that are all around, by the setup of the balloons, even the setup of the caterers area, that this is a luxurious, elegantly placed event and is very intimate. And because of how I am capturing the table, for example, the catering section, even the photo booth, it lets you know that this is an intimate event, but it is also elegant. Okay. People, of course, they showed up at a certain time and they enjoyed themselves. They had a nice, well and thought out dinner. And it's just a vibe that when people watch this video, that's what they're going to see before I'd even show the birthday lady. Okay. So that's what you want to do. When it comes to creating and capturing B-roll, you are wanting to make sure that you are getting people in place to be prepared for what is about to happen, for the big shebang, okay, so to speak. So this is why we're doing this live tonight. All right. So if you are a videographer and you're learning, you're a beginner, or you're just somebody who's been doing it for a while, and maybe you don't work on B-roll a lot, this will be a great way to get started. Taking some of the tips that I will give in this particular video and applying it to your own footage and seeing what it does for you. Okay. So with that being stated, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the equipment that we're going to use today. Okay. Now, I do have another piece of awesome equipment that I got recently, and I finally got some video camera glasses. Okay. Now they're not like the Metas. I don't really need all that right now, right? If I decide to pay $400-$500 later, that's fine. But look, a good little $50 one works for me. It does what it needs to do. So that is this right here. Okay. And I'm gonna try to utilize this while I'm showcasing what I have here. So that way when I do another edit, of a section of this video, you guys can also get this perspective. Okay. Now let me make sure, because I did it before, but power on. Press the function button for about 2 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna do this. It's not prescription based, so don't ask. Right now, it's just the camera, okay, which is fine. Let's see. Here's the button. All right, press for 2 seconds. The red light is on. All right, there's a red light. Boom. Now, in standby mode, long press it for about 2 seconds. The red light flashed 3 times, and it's then off to start recording. 2 seconds. Now it's recording. Boom. All right. Looks really nice. I can mess with it. Either way. So now we're going to get right into, I'm going to see if I can show you guys everything that I have set up here. These things are pretty tricky because I have to remember the lens is like right here, right? So if my finger is in the middle, my lens is like right here. So I have to be careful because otherwise it'll literally just have that one section of like a small section. So I have to kind of make sure that I'm kind of doing a full scan or step back to get a full view, for example. Because if it's not going to follow my eyes, I have to move it. I have to remember that. Okay. So now I'm showing, of course, my YouTube channel, right? Me talking. Then now I am showing the softbox that I am going to be using currently with my grid over it. Okay. Then we're going to pan out on this section. So I still need you guys to be closer to me. So let's bring you guys in. All right. And then we're going to drop you down. All right. So these are the props that I have. They are not it's not a whole lot. All right. So of course I got my phone. So I'm teaching you guys how to do this on your phone. I do need you guys to see my face though. Somewhat. Better. Okay. Phone. Okay. This is how you can also utilize this method. This is specifically for using it on your phone. You do not need to have a very expensive camera to be able to do this. You can really use these methods on any device that is a recording device. I might even be able to do this on my lens, on my glasses, right? So I could do something like this. Right? For example. Then of course we'll start here. I got these roses. Okay. And the purpose of these roses is to give it some type of a nice elegant feel to it. So meaning that if I have these roses as an elegant feel, whatever I put in the backdrop to replace this green screen is gonna have to match. Okay, so I'll place that here, and then of course I got my gimbal. Okay, this is my DJI phone gimbal. All right, so I personally love this gimbal. I've had it for several years. This was actually one of the first gimbals that I purchased. So of course you got my stand, the bottom that connects to it, the actual gimbal itself. Okay, as you guys can see that. So that's everything there. I have videos that explains how to use this gimbal as well and how to set it up. And then of course the backing for my phone. Okay, so of course it looks like something like this, and just really simple, really simple. The 3 pieces. The first thing I always connect this. Just screw it in, really easy. All right. Then once you do that, then from that point, I want to make sure that I put this on my phone. So I put my pieces separately together, and then I put them all together. So this part needs to read like a book, okay, from left to right. Then from there, I just wrap it around my phone, and it should hit snug just like this. All right, just like that. Same thing with the other side. So once I know that it's on there, and as you can see, even the space in between, that making sure that's also in there. Once I know that it's in there and it's good, then I know it's locked in. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is go ahead and unhook this. So typically how I would do it is, because it will probably be in this locked position like this. as you can see. So I move this out of the way towards the front. This will be the front. And then from there, I turn it around and I lift this up, just straight up from the back. And now it's adjusted. So then, of course, what I always do at this point is I rotate this so that it's facing from left to right, so I can read it from left to right. And this is where these will match up. All right. Again, you may have your own type of gimbal, and that's fine. And this is just the ones that I personally use. Then from there, I just turn it on, hit that power button at the top. Boom, it's turned on, and it's already set and calibrated. Then I just open up the legs behind, underneath it, and I let it sit here. Okay, now I might do that, but all I gotta do is just double tap this bottom button right here, and it's gonna readjust itself again. Okay, so now that's on. This is set up. This is the remote, of course, for my softbox. I can either turn it off or turn it back on. I could even turn it up. Okay, I love this thing when it comes to continuous lighting. So if you're trying to really utilize some different types of lighting for yourself, this would be a great idea to do that. Okay, so that's what I currently have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going ahead and turn this off real quick, and then we're going to go right into filming. I'm going to show you the positions that I use when it comes to filming, and then we'll get right into it. So how do I stop this? Short time press. Okay, and okay, so do this. Then the red light is on. Now it's off stand. Now it's on standby. Okay. All right. That was cool. So now, to show you guys how I film my B-roll. All right. So ideally, when it comes to me filming B-roll, and right now I'm gonna just show you, and then we're actually gonna film this section. If I need to add something else to it, it might be my camera, for example. I could do that, or I could even add on this new piece of equipment that I got yesterday. So I'll bring both of those as options. All right. This came into the mail not so long ago, and I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to open this up. I will do an unboxing video for this as well. This is for an event that I got coming up in April, so next month. So yeah. All right. So there's that, and of course my camera. Okay. Boom. All right. So I can leave this here. I can wrap these around the camera. Like, it's a lot of different things I can do with it to make it really look really nice. You see that? Okay. So now, when it comes to capturing B-roll, one of the main things that you need to pay attention to is going to be the details. All right. So in this case, for example, I'll grab this rose. All right. So if I have this rose here and I want to catch B-roll of it, I am going to want to catch it from being as just one single rose. I can have it placed down somewhere. I probably won't hold it unless the person's holding it is part of the event and they have to hold it. But if it's not, I'm going to leave it where it's at and I'm going to capture it. So in this case, I'm holding it for the purpose of this video so you guys can see up close. All right. Let me put this down real quick. So in this case, for this particular flower, what I would do is I would circle it. I would take probably 3 different types of clips of this particular thing. And it's just one thing. Why do I do 3 different takes? It's because it depends on how the video is going and I'm filming it and which one looks better in my opinion. Granted, if you get your first take every time and it looks bomb, kudos to you, right? But at the end of the day, realistically, you're going to need at least 2 or 3 different takes just to ensure you got some options to choose from. And you never know what you could do with the other slots. You know what I mean? So in this case, I would probably take a shot from above, right? I probably would either start from right close to the flower and then pan out, or I would come from outside of the flower and then pan in, or I would come from the side and I would circle around the rose, right? That would be another option. Or I can do one where I am coming from the left and I go to the right in a slow motion to lean towards the flower. Or I can come from out of focus, okay, and then come in towards the rose to where now it is in focus. That was like literally 5 or 6 different ways of how to capture B-roll just with this rose. There's just one particular rose. Imagine doing that and you have a bushel of roses, or you have a multiple amounts of items in front of you and you have to be able to capture B-roll. If there is an event for whatever reason and you all you need to do, and you're supposed to just capture B-roll the entire time, this is where you would look at every single detail. If there is a table that has a wine bottle on it, that has wine glasses on it, that has a hat, a plant, or a spoon, or a dish, or a card, or invitation flyer, all of those things need to be captured in that B-roll segment, because it does what? It sets the mood. So if you're telling me it's a birthday party and I don't see birthday party shit, I don't believe you. Okay. So this is why it's important to ensure that you are capturing everything that's going to make it show to the viewer that this is a birthday party. Does that make sense? All right. Thank you so much for the person that just came in. I appreciate you dropping by. If you are a videographer or photographer, please let me know. If you are also somebody who has taken videos of B-roll and you have questions for me, please let me know. All right. So that's just with this. Okay. So now, for example, what I'll do to show you guys an idea of what that would look like. All right. Now I'm going to move these things out of the table that I don't need right this second. And I'm going to place this flower right here. Okay. I'm going to manipulate it a little bit. So I moved it around. Okay. And of course, I'm going to bring you guys closer so you guys can see that better. Okay. Drop you down a little bit. And then from here, I am going to turn on my camera. Okay. Camera turned on, as you can see. Then we're going to, of course, hit the video mark. Then what I'm going to do is I'm like, do I like my lighting? How do I feel about my lighting? Right now, I'm like, it's very, very bright. It's not giving dramatic whatsoever. It's actually a little overpowering. So I will either do one or two things. Okay. I will either change the lighting that I have in my room, right? So I can adjust this. As you can see, if you can see that on my lens, it changes the lighting in my camera too, right? So I can do that. Well, actually, let me start it over. So for the purpose of the video, the lighting is very bright. If I want to drop this down, I can hit my remote, drop that down, and this makes it a little more dramatic, right? And then I could just pan going across. But now keep in mind, I got shadows coming from this side, right? So I don't want the shadow. So what do I need to do in that case? Maybe I might need to start from a different angle. Okay, so maybe I can go over, get close, and then circle around. But then even that might still give me a shadow. So what do I need to, maybe I might need to move. So come back around this way again. Same thing. Now, also what we can do is we can also go into our settings for our camera, right? So in this case, I might go and adjust my exposure. So you guys can usually see the exposure button on your phones, right? So you can drop that down, and I can also make it a little darker for you to utilize. And then I can come here. I can go in, and I can come out. All right. Try to keep it as steady as you possibly can. Cinematics, usually when the cinematic films are usually pretty smooth. Right. So that's one way. Right. And then again, let me try, because I do have the lighting as far as a shadow on that side. I can fix that. Right. And what I'll probably end up doing, let's move this chair over here. What I'll probably end up doing is moving this. I got this LED bulb light right here. So I'll turn that on. Okay. And then what I could do is it won't help me if it's just standing up. So I needed to be close to the light. So an option would be bringing it this way. All right. Can move this over. Again, we're still only capturing just the one rose. Okay. So we can try that. See how that looks. Okay. And make sure I go ahead and double tap to get it back in order. Now, the exposure to me now, I'm just like, okay, now Now it's dark. So let me go ahead and bring it up again. I'm bringing it back to 0. All right, I still got this. But now what I'll do is I'll probably bring it closer for the purpose of this particular clip. Bring it in. Drop it down. And then lower this softbox to go right over my prop. So do you guys see that? You guys see how that is set up, right? So now we have a little more to work with. So now I can be like, okay, I like this. Let me bring this down a little more. I personally love this particular lighting itself. It's nice. And now I can circle around, and all I need to do is just twist my wrist a little bit, and I can zoom in on this part, and then come out a little bit, twist my wrist the other way, and then go in a little more. Right? That's it. That part's pretty simple. That part is very, very simple. Okay? That's just one rose. Okay? So now if I say, you know what? I want to do multiple. I want to do a whole thing. I don't want to just do the one rose. Let's do a whole thing. So now we want to do, maybe move it around to where now we're doing the camera with the rose petals. Okay, so we're going to move everything else out the way. Okay, so here is my camera. Here is this lighting that's right here next to it. Now I can actually increase this some. Now if I wanted to, of course I can make it stand up at an angle. As you can see, I can actually make it stand up that way. And I can even place this here, right? So that it's not by itself. Then I can show up right here, and we can start recording again. Same concept, like nothing really changed. Same concept. So all I'm doing is starting from one area, holding my camera steady, turning around, twisting it, go to the other side, go in on the details of the camera, zoom out or pull out, twist my hand a little more. I could even drop down in front of it and then move in slowly and then tilt my camera over that way and then come out from the top. That was about 40 seconds of that. So you're probably like, why did you switch up so many times? Why did you go from this area to this area? So it goes back to the details. Details, okay? So now we're going to try this again, and I'm going to see if I can do my best to explain the details. Okay, so all right. So now, if I were to bring you guys down here, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Anytime you are capturing B-roll, what I say, you gotta think about the details. Okay, so in this case, of course, this is what I use to record, and this is the light, one of my lighting setups. Well, I still have my softbox pointing this way. Okay, because if I didn't have it pointing, it would be off. That would be dark, but it's not. Okay, so the details of this in this scenario would be the roses, as you can see. All right, and then of course my camera. But it's not just the camera, it's the camera knobs. Anytime there's text that needs to be captured, it's the camera knobs. It's the brand, it's for Canon itself. It is the type, the model, okay, that I'm capturing. And then it's also getting the different ways of how this looks. So it's getting it from one particular side, moving to the front, then getting to the other opposite side, and then coming back around to center, maybe panning out yourself slowly, of course, and then maybe coming over so that you can get the overhead. It's just like a box, okay? And I'm gonna try to explain that to you as best as I can. Okay. Capturing B-roll is like capturing things that are for think about a regular box, right? I have one, perfect. A regular box. A box is not just the box. It's not just one side. Like I could just show you just this part right here, but then it won't do this justice. I would have to give it to you in different angles. I have to show it to you as it's a 3D effect. I have to be able to show what it looks like because it does have this red side. So if somebody decides to order the same product, they can say, oh, okay, so I know this is what they had because this is what this also had on their item, right? I can even show it to you, of course, when this is coming out of the sleeve, for example. I can do a half sleeve removal type situation because now it's going to make it more intuitive, more interactive, right? Staying with me? So it's more than just what the eye can see, it's what I can make you see. That's what B-roll is. People might be like, oh, well, I can do that with the actual footage. Yes, you absolutely can. But when it comes to sometimes even you just capturing just the main shot, it doesn't always capture the essence by really setting the mood or setting the vibe that you want people to really capture and get. So, for example, the B-roll, for example, for something like this, it could be something as simple as if I am placing this somewhere and say I have it in the water and I'm trying to show how it can stay in water without having any issues, right? Now, this would be depending on what I place it in. Like, what illusion can I create to make that be the effect? So the B-rolls, if this is not actually in water, but I want you to understand that it can absorb it, how do I do that? Do I just take this, stand it in front of me and just pour water over it and just say, see? Do I do that? Or do I capture running water? Do I capture water glistening on a bottle? Do I capture the small water droplets on this container itself? Right? And like those are going to be the things that are going to make you think outside of, so to speak, the box. Because once you do that, now you are going somewhere. Now you're creating a cinematic feeling. It all goes back down to that. So being able to create a cinematic feeling. Because if I'm just take a picture or doing a video of a box and all I do is like, here, there you go, it's not the same. So I want to make sure that it makes sense, it stands out, and it also makes you want what it is that I'm showing you. Okay? So that's that. So now let's go ahead and film the box. Okay, so I can go ahead and put these up. I don't need these roses anymore. Put that up right there. Put you up right there. Okay. So now I'm actually going to change the color of this light. I don't necessarily need it to be purple, so I can make this. Where's the RGB? Here we go. This color is cute. I like this one. I think I'll do this one. Okay. Now you can place that light wherever you want. I'm gonna place this box right here. Okay. Then I'm probably gonna move my light away because I needed to show this particular area. So the front part of my box. So I'm going to bring this over. Then I'm going to bring it up this way. But I am going to increase the brightness. Okay? That's what I want. That's personally what I want, right? Somebody else might be like, oh, I don't like it like that. That's fine. They ain't gotta like it. That's what I want. Okay. So now that I have all of this set up, okay, so now what we're gonna do is I am going to do a test film. Sometimes it's okay to do a test film. It doesn't have to be the full thing, right? So it can be a test film. Or if you don't have a gimbal, I may do it without the gimbal, okay? So I'm going to turn this off. All right, so it's going to, of course, do that. Now, I'm going to remove this gimbal, place it to the side. And now I'm going to show you how to capture without a gimbal, okay? So I have my light here. And what I'll do is I'll leave this right here. So then when I'm capturing it, I want to make sure that I'm capturing things that's going to be inside this green space. So I'm not trying to capture the stuff that's on the outside. It's going to be distracting and a little more difficult to edit out. So for me, I'll probably start right here. Start at the edge. Then come around. Then pan out. Once I get to the other side, that way they can see exactly what it is that I have. That's one angle. That's one shot, right? So then the other thing I can do is I can start from the top. Actually, no. If I start from the top, it's going to be laying down. So let me lay it down. So as I have it laid down, I can start from the top. And you remember back when you used to have those edits where you would like just slap something like a black screen and it come out of it? It's gonna be like that, right? So I'll start from here, then I'll drag it out, right? And then of course make sure I crop it when I am editing this. And then of course I can make that do what it needs to do. Then I could even go from this same position. I can go from the left side to the right, right? Then I can prop it up. Now I want to capture it on this angle, okay? So then what I can do is I can be here, pan from one side to the other. Then once I get to the other side, I tilt my hand just a little bit, and then I come out like so. That's pretty much it. Like I'm telling you guys how simple this is to do. It's really not that difficult, but it's having that detailed eye, right? Let me turn this off. All right, I think it's off. So it's having that detailed eye. So if I'm not paying attention to the eye, if I'm not paying attention to the details, it's not going to give what I need to give. It's just going to be another video, right? So now what I'll do, I'm probably also going to capture the information that's on top of this, right? Because there's information on top of here, which is important. So now I need to also capture that. So this could be another situation to where I'm just going from one side to the other. So I could be here, just slowly go from one side to the other, then come out, right? And then I could do it again from a different angle. But instead, because it's going to give me all the stuff in the back, and I don't necessarily need that personally. So what I'll probably do is I will leave it this way, but I'll make it as if I turned it around. So I could do like this, go on top of it, and scroll across the top, right? And then come out, pan out, boom. So now, if I wanted to, I can show you guys, of course, what that looks like so far. That's just an idea. And then it's the way you put it together that's going to make the impression, that's going to make the impact. So when I edit this video, it's going to make a difference, right? So you're going to see, oh shit, okay, especially when I replace the green screen, it's going to be something totally different. Because now you're going to be like, okay, now I understand why the B-roll is important, okay? So that's just some things that's taking place. Of course, I can remove the sleeve a little bit. All right, keep in mind, I haven't done an unboxing video with this at all yet. So this would be a great way for me to get started on that. So I can even do this. I can come down, right? And I can do that and then when it gets to the other side, what's actually happening is it will allow me to fade it into another scene, okay? So then I have that option. Then of course I can start from back here. So I can start from back here. See if you guys can see it, how I'm positioning myself. So I could even start from back here, right? Not capturing the light that's over there, obviously, and then moving in. Just like that. That's it. That's it. So these are just some things that I personally do when it comes to me capturing B-roll at my events, at any type of, literally any event. And that's sometimes I may do at a video shoot. Actually, I will do at a video shoot. So an example I can give you guys too. If you're doing a video shoot and you have a model that is actually getting a video done, right? Same thing for them. You see music videos all the time. They'll capture, if there's a rap music video, they might capture the car, the details of the car, right? They might capture the details of the house, right? Even if you're watching a TV show and you see where, if you're watching a common one, Family Matters, that house that they always show you right before they show you what's happening inside the house, that's its own version of B-roll. It's setting the mood, setting the place. It's letting you know we are at the house right now, right? And if it happens to go to another scene, another location, they're going to show you that scene, that outside portion of that scene before they show you inside the house, right? So it's always setting the placement of where you want your viewers to be mentally as well as emotionally, right? And sometimes like psychologically as well. Sometimes you can take them on a whole whirlwind with their emotions because of how you've been capturing everything. Another thing we may see all the time is when you're watching certain movies that have those flashing scenes and they're mostly subliminal messages, those can also be derived from other forms of B-roll, right? Because now you're seeing a cat that's like has been gone through it, right? You're seeing like a lot of traumatic images back to back to back to back, but they're all still placing something into your mind. So it's more than just I'm just capturing a clip, I'm just capturing a video, I'm just recording. You are actually setting the intention and the mood and the emotion of the person that's watching this particular video. It's why, for me, I take it with such great pride. So when anybody sees a work that I've done, what depending on the type of video that they are looking at, it's going to let you know exactly what you're about to get yourself into, whether it's possibly a show. This might be an event that I'm trying to promote myself. This might be a video shoot that I'm creating for somebody else who has a very interesting idea. And I'm still wanting to make sure that versus me just jumping right into the meat and potatoes of it, I'm going to show you the appetizers, right? I'm going to show you the desserts. I'm going to bring out the bread tray, right? Before we get right into it, because at the end of the day, I want you to savor this moment. And without B-roll, your and viewers cannot savor any of it. They're just going to get thrown into it. So you want to take them on a ride. You want to take them on a journey. And in its own way, this is its own version of storytelling. And you have to be prepared and practice in that telling of said story. Okay. So as always, if you guys have any questions for me when it comes to these type of things, let me know. I am definitely going to be making an unboxing video for this real quick, and then I'm going to post it because I also plan on using this. So I'm excited about what this is going to look like as well, just because I have plans for it. And I will put my link in the video of where I got this particular one. It's from Amazon, like 40 something dollars. They didn't cost me much, but it's all going to show you that you do not need to spend 300, 400, 500, even $1,000. The most expensive thing you might buy might honestly might be your camera. To be honest with you, that might be the most expensive thing, but everything else you really don't have to spend an arm and a leg to be able to create some really dynamic footage. To even for it to look cinematically, it's all about the way that you film it. Okay, so if you understand your angles, if you understand your movements, if you understand taking your time and slowing it down, it's going to change out your outlook times 100. Okay, so take all these tips with you and try them out. Let me know what you guys think. I have my next live. I already got prepared for you guys. Next live next week is actually going to be about lighting. I'm going to call it "Lighting Will Save Your Footage and Your Life." Okay, simply because it's underrated as far as how much lighting is very, very important. And I've also had to understand this in the past, really in the near past. So I've had to really do better with understanding my lighting and bringing it ultimately, because at the end of the day, without it, my footage will not give the look that I want it to give. All right, so that's gonna be for next week. So if you guys need any help with that, understanding how to utilize that, definitely reach out, and I will create that and be here. All right. So also tidbit, last thing before I go, I am now putting my replays back on YouTube. So from this moment on, they're gonna be on YouTube. Anything else that I've had in the past from the beginning of this year, they are still on Patreon. So go to Patreon. Right now it's currently free for those. Go ahead and watch those last replays. Since I am backed up with videos, so there's a lot of edits that I have not done and I need to, but I will get to them, but bear with me. But in the meantime, these replays from now on, and so I decided to change it again, will be on YouTube. So you guys can check in with those. And of course, give me your feedback when it comes to that as well. But all the more, everything more in depth. Like if I do some more footage with my camera glasses, or if I decided one day I'm just doing a photo shoot with an actual model, I'm actually gonna put those on Patreon because they'll be more in depth. And I'll actually will show you like more specific information and details. Even my editing videos, they'll be placed right on Patreon. So go there, check those things out there. If you are growing your videography business, make sure you get your ebook and then jump in with me on Patreon so I can help you to grow your videography business like I am, because this is something I do full time. So I can definitely be able to help you guys out as well. And that's all I got for you guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching me, for listening, and for just being a part of my journey. And I will catch you guys next week.